Everybody. You know, there are a number of men in the Team Beachbody Network who are crushing it, who are killing it. And whether they are partnering with another person, maybe their wife or a brother or something, or maybe they're just solo coaches, they are killing it. We don't have a lot of dudes on the call. We need more dudes. So come on, guys, get out there. But a funny thing about being a coach and helping people with their health and fitness goals is that it is gender neutral. Okay. Doesn't matter. Man, woman, does not matter, because it is the same activities, but this guy is definitely crushing it. Let me talk a little bit about his accolades. He came to Beachbody almost 6 years ago. All right. And he is now a superstar diamond coach. He hit that level, that rank in the same quarter as his wife, Kim Fitzpatrick. So that was a very cool achievement for both of them. He was top 10. He was in the top 10 of all our elite coaches in 2017. In 2019, last year, you know, these dates, I don't know about you, but 2019 feels like so long ago, but it was last year. He and his wife won the CEO award at Summit, which was very cool, selected by our CEO, Carl Deichler. He has achieved 5 times elite, and he is part of our legacy club, which means in all the years that he has been coaching, he has accumulated over $1 million. You guys from Burlington, Ontario, Canada, please welcome in Jamie Fitzpatrick. Let's do it, Jamie. How are you, man?
I'm awesome. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You and I talked earlier about the weather, so I won't bring it up on what's going on up there in the
Canada,
north.
like I told you before, it's getting very cold here, but it's supposed to, and we're used to this. So, you know, it's
It's
all
funny
good.
because Canadians are so nice, even though they're dealing with such cruel weather conditions.
We are. That's like another level, but I'm still running outside, and most Canadians are. So that's good.
Okay, very impressive.
Yeah.
I am going to step out of the way, and you have a story to tell about how you came to Beachbody.
I got a few. Yeah. I mean, I'll start with the first one. Yeah. And I don't know if this is familiar. I know on the last call, you know, you're talking to Danielle and stuff about teachers, and you know, there are a lot of teachers that are coaches. So I was a high school teacher. I did that for 7 years out in British Columbia, west coast of Canada. Actually really enjoyed that, but I just never saw myself doing that for another 30, 40 years. And as crazy as it sounds, you know, my brother and I were both teaching out there, both single, and our family had kind of, you know, migrated across the country out to Ontario in the east. And we had the idea, I'm sure it was like over a glass of wine at the end of a dock, and we had the idea of opening these funky dog stores. And this is going back to 2003, 2004. So I'm probably older than most of you watching this, but there wasn't really anything like that. We were going to really, you know, color block, make it cool. So when you come in the store, it just looked like a place you wanted to be. No offense to typical pet stores, but we wanted it to look like something different. So we basically moved out east and opened Bark and Fitz, which was our first store. We had no business experience before that. Borrowed money from my parents. You know, I think that initial store probably cost us close to like $250,000 to open, traditional brick and mortar. Plus you're paying the rent and all that stuff. But it worked out, and people came in, they liked the concept. We had people come in our store, and this was in Oakville, Ontario, which at the time it might still be, was like the highest per capita income place in Canada. So, you know, we were that place. You'd come in and we'd sell you these overpriced dog collars and food and stuff like that. But people loved it, and soon they wanted to come in, and they asked about franchising out the concept. Again, knew nothing about franchising or being a franchisor. But we learned and we researched, and you kind of push yourself and you try to grow the best you can in all parts of the business, which I'll touch on a little bit more about coaching. But we just learned as we went, and we had a blast doing it. Yeah, people thought we were a little bit crazy to do that, to leave teaching and stuff like that. But when it's in your heart and you believe in yourself and you believe in bigger things, that's what we were going for. So we eventually actually we got up to about 23 locations. We had one in New Jersey, pretty much coast to coast, Vancouver, Halifax of Canada. And from the outside was doing really well, you know. Again, we were in high rent areas. That's a lot of dog biscuits to sell. It's a lot of coats and things for dogs. But it was going well. And so we went from being a retailer, brick and mortar, to being a franchisor. And we were selling these franchises to people. And once you have 23 locations, it's a completely different business than when you started. But like a lot of businesses, I'm no longer doing that, obviously, but like a lot of businesses, it started going sideways. And the reasons are vast and stuff like that. You know, I think online had a thing to do with it. We brought in a business partner that didn't really have the same vision as us and stuff. And it went sideways. And ironically, it actually led me to Beachbody because through, and I won't get into it because this call would take a couple hours, but through a bunch of stuff with our franchisees and business stress, I'm a self-medicator, always have been. And through that stress, through that business, massive, like years of stress and legal stuff and all those things, I gained, I don't know, probably 60 pounds. I'm comfortably 190, and I started to get up there and, you know, abusing my body with things and just all those things that you do not want to be doing. And I remember, you know, we had a newborn, Colby, at that time, newly married, and not the version of myself that I was proud of or happy with. And like a lot of people, sitting up late at night, I used to play online poker, drinking pizza, ice, whatever I was medicating with at the time. You know, this overly happy, energetic dude comes on at 1 or 2 in the morning. I can't remember what it was. And it was Tony Horton, and it was the P90X infomercial. And, you know, I think we're all, not all of us, but you know, when you're sort of down and out and you know, when you need a change. And there was something about just watching him. And like so many people with P90X, he got me. And I ordered the program, and, you know, I started working out in my basement. I was ashamed to go to the gym at that point. I did not want anyone to see me. So I'd go in my basement and work out with P90X. I mean, it's crazy how life takes, you know, and you mentioned the CEO award, which was, you know, just an incredible moment for us and our team. But I think right after that, Tony got the Lifetime Achievement Award from Carl. So that was one of those full circle moments that was just crazy. And then through all that stress, you know, when I lost the weight, we would order every DVD set from Beachbody. We became customers and fans. And about 2014, I was then a consultant now for a pet food company. I actually left the company we started. We were 23 locations. I just couldn't handle the stress. It was like, it was not only making me physically sick, but the stress of it all, I needed something else. And I literally just came in one day and walked away from the company. Which was hard to do because you put all those years in to make it work. And I walked away, went to work for a consultant. And about 2014, I started thinking about coaching. And then early 2015, I think it was January, my wife and I both had corporate jobs. We had a 3 and a 6-year-old. You know, we were those people who were picking our kids up at 6:05 every day from daycare, other people raising them, which we all have to do, or a lot of people have to do. And we knew we needed something different. We needed something else because we didn't want to be working for someone else, you know, the rest of our lives. And we were barely seeing each other. My wife traveled a lot in her corporate job. I was traveling a lot. I think it was the November before that. We maybe saw each other for like 3 or 4 nights because we were traveling so much. And we just looked at each other one night. And I remember having a conversation, and we, you know, us saying to each other, is this it? Like, is this how we're going to go the next 30 years with our corporate jobs and stuff like that? So January 29th, 2015, I'll always remember the day I jumped in as a coach. And that click of that button, you don't know it at the time, but that click of that button, it changed the trajectory of everything for us.
That is a decision. When you click that button, it's a decision. I know my kid's applying to college, so it's like when you hit send, it's like, ah. You know, I want to thank you for your honesty, because running a business can also take over your body and your soul and can, you know, run you instead. So I appreciate you sharing that, because I know your story, and I know that it took the life out of you pretty much. Anyway, we'll get to that later. Yes. I also wanted to talk about infomercials, because people that watch infomercials late at night when they're down and out, sometimes they make decisions that don't agree with them. But it sounds like that decision was pretty special for you. And infomercials have now been changed to like Instagram posts, which is,
it's true.
People are watching coaches now. They're not watching infomercials. They're watching what's possible.
Yeah. So that's so important.
I appreciate you very much. And so 5.5 years, almost 6 years, you come into a rhythm in the business. And you and I talked about this because you were a business owner. You kind of understood pacing with business promotions and campaigns. So product launches, we have a lot, thankfully, with Beachbody. We have a lot of programs and products that come out. And you have kind of found a rhythm to this business with product launches. So I'm going to just let you go ahead and talk about this topic and why it's important to you.
Yeah. And I don't want to overwhelm. I know there's a lot of new coaches here too, and I don't want to overwhelm people. But I mean, it's funny, when I was asked to do this, obviously I said yes right away. And I was excited. Then I found out the topic of launches, and I was really happy to talk about it because it's funny, we're so used to launches now the past few years, and we build up for these launches and stuff. And I'll talk a bit about that in a little bit. But for me, when I started early 2015, we didn't have these brand new program launches with all the challenge packs and bundles, which are amazing for our business, amazing. They create energy, which I'll talk about. But when I started, it was really 21 Day Fix with Autumn, which is timely with 9 Week Control Freak coming. But it was really about 21 Day Fix for me. And I'd never been in a challenge group before or anything like that. I didn't know what that looked like. But what I learned really quickly is that, every month, if I did a 21 Day Fix group, and my wife, Kim, she joined the business about 6 months after I started, and she really fell in love with the accountability groups. And that's kind of propelled her to start to coach, plus an event. But so every month, really every month, what I did the first 2 years of my business, even when I made top 10, it was literally, doing a launch of a 21 Day Fix group every month. And I'm sure the first couple weren't that good, but that's what I did. That's what I just thought I should do. And I loved the rhythm of it, because every month I picked a date of when that 21 Day Fix group would start. I knew the time before that group started, how much I was going to promote. At that time, it was Facebook. I don't even think I used Instagram at that time, let alone stories and reels and all those things, all those additional tools we have now. So every month we would just do a 21 Day Fix group, and we would promote, recruit up to that group. Obviously the container system was beautiful. People had their nutrition plan. And it was really, like, for me, it became simple because every month I just did a launch, and that made sense to me. I could talk about it on social media. I could talk of the start of a new event on social media, and that was exciting for people. I think for these launches coming up, and for my talk today, I'm obviously going to reference 9 Week Control Freak because that's coming up quickly. But I think it's such an advantage for us to have these. And I think with a little bit of organization, you can really capitalize on these things. You don't have to have run a business before at all. But you do need to have a calendar, and you do need to be organized and understand those things. It's funny, and Christina Delgado was on our leadership call a couple of weeks ago. And, she even said too, when she started a year or two before us. And she was saying, the 21 Day Fix and the launch of that program, it really helped her retire from her legal practice, insert income disclaimer, but it really helped her retire. And I hope people understand, like, these launches literally can propel not only your business forward, but once you get in that flow of them and you understand how to launch, and you have to practice. The first time you do one, you probably won't be that good at it, but you got to do it once and do it again and 3 and 4 times, and understand the cadence to your business and how that works to really get good at that. And especially with 9 Week Control Freak, it's like the perfect storm here. No one likes COVID. Obviously, it's done a lot of damage. But, it has propelled our business in certain areas. You saw that in April, May, and June, and it looks like things might get shut down again. I don't know. But we're in this perfect storm where your people are going to be looking again for workouts from home and alternatives. And it's an Autumn program. We know she crushes it. We know these programs, affect people's business. And I was talking to someone else the other day. I said, I guarantee you guys, when 9-week Control Freak comes out, right? December 7th is coaches, the 21st is clients, and you're going to get traction through that through December and all the way through Jan, Feb, and March, the busy, busy times. Someone on here in 18 months from now or 24 months from now or whatever it is, there's going to be someone speaking on the National Wake Up Call. There's going to be elite coaches, going to be top 10 coaches and superstar diamond coaches who started their coaching business and really started it during 9-week Control Freak. That's the power of all our programs, especially Autumn's. I know it did with 80-Day Obsession. This 9-week Control Freak is really going to launch people's businesses. And those are the people that are going to be talking on these calls in 2 years from now. So you want those clients in your group, you want those coaches on your team, but you got to show up and be organized to do that during these launches. So I just want to kind of point that out, because I think it's important. If you understand the potential gravity of these launches, you're going to be better equipped for that. And I'll give you some tips on launches, guys. I'm not going to go through exactly what we do, because we're at maybe a different place than you are, but I'm going to give you some resources and stuff that you can definitely look at to plan out this launch. But guys, if I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't want to go all into a rant about employee mindset versus CEO mindset, because, A, you don't want to hear me swear because I get pretty fired up, and B, I could talk about it for an hour. But the truth of the matter is, like, this previous business that my brother and I started, Mike, who's also a coach, we didn't know what we were doing when we went into it. But I think, that business is opening up a retail store, becoming franchisors. It didn't teach us how to coach. It didn't teach us how genealogy worked or what a 10-star diamond was. Our past business didn't teach us any specifics about how to invite people to a challenge. It didn't teach us any of that. But what it did teach us is accountability. It taught us responsibility. It taught us to have respect for what you're doing and for the business. I mean, we invested, guys, $250,000 in that original business. I signed up for this business, for $50 because my wife and I were using Shakeology. We were clients for a long time. We were getting 2 bags a month. We were those people that we were those people who we bled Beachbody Blue. And so it's it didn't teach me about coaching, but it taught me about entrepreneurship. It taught me about having responsibility and respect for the business. So whether I invested $250,000 in my original business or $50 to sign up as a coach, the real difference for me is when I started coaching, I treated it the exact same as that $250,000 business. And I've treated it that way from day one. I didn't treat it by the investment I made. I treated it by the opportunity and the time I was putting in. That's how I kind of viewed this business, and it taught me about commitment. If any of you have had a past business or you've worked, even if you've worked retail, the hours, you take Christmas off and that's about it. So it didn't teach me how to coach, but it taught me some of the sacrifices that I needed. I remember we would have to do window displays to, display those overpriced collars and Burberry coats and stuff like that. And we would change them up every month. We'd never done that before, but it taught us to have a calendar. What season was it? What are people that are walking by going to want to see in the window? Your social media is the same thing. Your launch is the same thing. I use this analogy and I hope it kind of makes sense. It's if someone was paying you $100,000 to coach, if someone actually gave you, let's say you were an employee and they're paying you $100,000 to be a Beachbody coach, it's would you still have a job? Are you living up to that salary that someone might pay you to do this? And I think wrapping your head around that, it's not that you have to know everything about coaching, but you do have to be organized. You should have a calendar that you've laid out and filled in some of the dates of the upcoming launch. I think that stuff is really important. And so having a past business, it kind of showed me and this is the other thing. And I know there's people on this call with all different goals. Some of you just love to help people. You want to help a couple people a month. Maybe you just love the community. That is cool. What I love about Beachbody is we welcome everyone and everyone serves their role and beautiful purpose in this. But I know a lot of you have big goals and I'm always asking my coaches when I hop on calls and, I share this on team calls and stuff is what priority is this in your life? Right? Even 9-week Control Freak, that launch, what priority does that have in your business too? Because it doesn't really come down to how much you know, but it does come down to the amount of respect you have for this business. And some of that is understanding different parts of the business and moving parts. It's that competence builds that confidence that you have. So I don't think you have to know all about genealogy or anything like that, but there should be some baseline knowledge there for you, because that lends itself where you're going to respect the business more and you're going to understand different components of the business. So you're going to be more comfortable inviting people to the next launch and doing those types of things. So that past business taught us to be organized. And I think if you can get out of that employee mindset and into that CEO mindset, the time that you put in now to all these things, you understand that that's going to pay off in the future. And with that employee mindset, it's all about, and we've all been there, because I think we're trained to be this way, whether it's school or college or however, we're always trained to share that, I work for an hour, you give me that income that we've agreed upon for that hour, where it's like coaching and entrepreneurship. You kind of have to take that thought process and move it to the side and understand that the time investments that you're making now are going to pay off at some point. And that's a mindset shift that you really have to have, So I don't think coaching should ever come above your family, your kids, your current job, what pays your current bills, your friends, all those things. But there's another block of priorities there. And this launch is going to fit in there, and your business is going to fit in those priorities. Goals are important. I love vision casting. We do a vision board, Kim and I, we do it with our team. We're huge into goal setting, but honestly, guys, this isn't just about goals. You want to have a huge launch for 9-week Control Freak, or the next launch, or have a huge 2021. It's not just about goals. It's not just about vision. It's not about just all those things. It's like, what's the standard that you're setting for yourself in this business? What's the standard you've set for yourself every day that you wake up? What is that standard? Because if the standard's high enough, if there's a standard of excellence and pride and respect in your coaching and what you're doing, the goals and the vision are going to get met eventually. They're going to get met eventually, but your own personal level and your standard that you set for yourself, that's going to determine your daily actions. That's going to determine where this falls in your priority list. And I would view 9-week Control Freak the same way. How important are you making this launch coming up in your business? Because that will determine a lot of the actions that you do. And look, what I love about launches, and started with 21 Day Fix. Now we have these beautiful new program launches. It's like, Sandy and I were talking about what to call it and stuff like that. It really is a bit of a hype cycle. It's really all about energy. And we were even saying, like, you can't teach energy. I can't teach someone to come on and be, woo, woo, let's go and have all this energy. But I think, like, you understanding more about the program, you understanding what 9-week Control Freak actually is, and diving into those resources, that can raise your energy level. And I think, again, having confidence about the program will raise your energy level. It really, and I'll say it again, this is why people don't invite. This is why people get scared to talk about the coaching opportunity. It's because their confidence level is low. So you've got to raise that up with competence. If you don't understand something, go find out. That's what entrepreneurs do. That's what CEOs do. They go and research and find out. They don't wait to be told what that is. They go find out, and they do that stuff necessary. So the competence is raised, so their confidence gets raised. And these launches, guys, they're huge, huge business builders for you. And I really want to drill that home for you, how big that is. 9-week Control Freak. It's coming out soon. And I don't want to get into how to post on social media and stories. Those are other trainings. We have a ton of those, but you do have to start thinking about these things now. I remember when I started, guys, I'd never been in a challenge group before. So if you're brand new and you're not sure what to do, that's okay. We all start there. Like, we all start a little bit clueless as to what's going on. But I will say this, from now what we have to when I started, you've got 10 times the resources. But keep it simple. Like, keep it really simple for yourself. I think when I started, I had not been in a challenge group. So I literally Googled 21 Day Fix, like, challenge group scripts, because I was inviting people to challenge group. I didn't know how to run one. And I remember I found Megan Evelson's, thank you, Megan. I found literally on a Word document somewhere in the World Wide Web, I found her challenge group script. And I think I used that for the first year or two, and I tweaked it a little bit like that. And I used that because I had to find something, and I just went and did the research. And I think that's part of this. That's part of, guys, being that coach who is really, really resourceful. You don't have to know a lot, but you do have to be willing to go do the research and find those things, guys, okay? So let's talk about some resources for you. No-brainers. You know, we know Autumn is going to work her tail off to promote this on team calls. Her Instagram page, follow her, notifications so you're knowledgeable of what's going on. There's a 9-week control Instagram page. Turn your notifications on, follow that. I'm not saying you don't need to watch everything on there all the time, but you should check in to see, and you can share that stuff on your social media too, guys, right? Beachbody 411, Sandy already said it. Beachbody Champions, guys, these are no-brainers. You need to be involved in those pages and know what's going on. This is a huge one everyone forgets about, not only for launches, guys, but just in general, is the Beachbody Blog. I mean, the people who run the Beachbody Blog are incredible. It's a fantastic product that you need to know about. That's going to be big for your launch. You know, your coach online office is massive. And I'm going to share a few resources here I've got that they've already developed for 9-week Control Freak. Guys, share a cart. You know, I hope, especially if you're a brand new coach, you're going to want to be familiar with Share a Cart. Before the coach launch on December 7th, before December 21st, make sure you go into Share a Cart and you know where the 9-week control packages are. Make sure you're familiar with the different packages. And you can even do some sample share carts for people, because you can create your own email that sends when that, and always do the shareable link that you can send in a message. But know that going into the launch, understand how to use that, because share cart's going to be a huge valuable tool for you. I always say connect to the mothership. I know some of you maybe don't have active uplines, but most of you should be connected to a higher team. I'm a fan of connecting to the mothership. I think you need to know what they're doing. And the one thing I wanted to say on this, I'm going to touch about it on the end too, is don't be that wallflower coach. And what I mean by that is, like, this is your business. No one else is here to show you exactly what to do. No one's here to hold your hand through the whole time to show you. Be the person who gets involved with people. Go on those pages, get active in groups, get active in communities, message your upline, message your bigger team, find a success partner. You need to get involved in what's going on and be an active participant in coaching in your business, because you are the CEO of your business, right? And if you are a brand new coach, my advice to you is reach out to your upline, you know, connect with them. What are they doing? If you can hop on a call, great, but find out what they're doing. Success leaves clues. So find out what they're doing, guys. What else can I share with you, guys? So if you go in the back, I'll go into your coach office. You go under Grow My Business, Tools and Shareable Media. And if you go in the 9-week Control Freak, guys, they've already laid out some really cool things. So one thing, I think it's probably backwards for you, but I printed it off. It's this three-step launch plan. Get trained and know key dates. Plan your launch and bod groups. It gives you the number of goal of commitments, and you can check it off. Guys, it literally has an invite calendar for you. November and December, it gives you ideas for every day of that month on what to do, how to post, when to invite. Guys, it's all done for you. Like, this is literally my call. They've done it for me. There's a 3-week launch plan. It's one pager that you can print off, and you should be starting to look at this and plan accordingly for what you're doing. Again, they do this for every launch too. It's another thing. It's called a pre-order commitment tracker. It's in your back office. You can print it off. It's beautiful, guys. Name what challenge pack completion they want, the bundle, and actions to do, guys. So, you know, if you're a paper and pen person, these are awesome tools. And guys, I'm just checking my time so I don't go hugely over, even though I probably am. Sandy's like, get off. Your business activity tracker. And I know Beachbody, I feel like I talk about this with my team nonstop. There's a reason for that. Again, success leaves clues, guys. But your business activity tracker is your launch plan too. That's what you should be doing all the time. So, you know, I call it business activity tracker. It's also called the Success Club tracker. This really will lay out for you what you're going to, in your business, what you're going to be doing over the next 3-4 weeks into the coach and client launch. I always tell this story because it's important. I know you get afraid to invite. I know people get afraid to invite. You can't be afraid. When you make this about other people, the fear actually disappears, because sending out invites isn't about you and your business. It's the impact you can have on someone else. It's the impact you have on someone else. And I always remember one of Kim's bosses that came in the group was diagnosed with breast cancer later. And she sent me a message years after saying, you know, if she'd never come in the group, she lost about 40 pounds. And if she'd never come in our group and lost the weight, A, she doesn't think she would have found the breast cancer, and B, she doesn't think she would have been strong enough to go through the chemotherapy. So I always think about, when I invite and reach out to people, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about other people. And dare I say this, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but it almost becomes a selfish behavior when that fear gets hold of you, because you limit the impact you can have on another human being, which, make no mistake, can be massive, massive in this business. And guys, no one, when Kim and I were double bag Shakeology users and we were clients, no one ever invited us to a challenge group. No one ever invited us to the coaching opportunity, ever. And we'd have created some good volume on one of your legs, by the way. So you never know who your next invite is going to be.
Wow. Okay. So a few things that I wrote down, Jamie, because you were a business owner, and we throw around words like treat your business like a business, but the way that you said it was all around respect the business, that you're making it a priority. And I love what you said. It's about accountability, responsibility, and respect. So just outlining it again for people, when you say treat your business like a business, if I've never had a business, I don't know how to treat employees and how to, you know, change all the light bulbs in the store. But I'm starting to realize it doesn't matter what you did before Beachbody. It all comes down to accountability, responsibility, and respect. So I love that. The other thing is that the Success Club activity tracker, thank you for showing that. I love how you put it in a spiral binder and made it transportable. Excellent. Excellent job. Okay, we are at the close of the call, but really, really important, because I do want to share this with you, because it has been an amazing year for you and Kim and your family. Can you quickly explain what happened last year and just your feeling of fulfillment with this role that you have as a coach?
Yeah, we always save the hardest for last. Hey, Sandy. And it's funny, I don't know why I picked this room, because I typically talk either in the basement or up on the kitchen thing. I honestly, I never thought about it until I'm sitting here right now, because the event actually happened. It was like about literally 5 feet away here, and I'll go through quickly. But yeah, October of last year, I just did the anniversary. I actually suffered a massive heart attack. And I'll try to keep it together here, but it's interesting, right? And what happened, it was on a Sunday. My daughter was supposed to be next door at a friend's house. My daughter was 8 at the time, Tessa. And for some reason she couldn't go over there, which was rare. And she was sent back, and she was here, and she asked me to go grab her something, and I never came back. And my daughter found me on the floor, face down. And I always say to people, like, you know, she heard me, some people say heard me trying to breathe and stuff, but what my daughter heard is, you know, she really heard me dying. And she came down, and as an 8-year-old would do, at first she thought maybe I was joking with her, because I fool around with her a lot, and I have a sense of humor, but I was not joking that time. And it's funny, Kim was on a team call downstairs on a weekend, because entrepreneurs work weekends sometimes. And my daughter, and there's actually a recording of it that I've heard, and my daughter was saying, you know, something's wrong with Daddy. And my wife recognized the tone, and she came upstairs and found me. And for the next 8 minutes, my wife performed CPR on me. And yeah, she, for 8 minutes, had to wait for the firefighters, ambulance to come. It was, I mean, I don't know if anyone can I don't remember anything. So it's interesting because I don't remember anything, but the trauma lives with my daughter and my wife, Kim, who I don't know what that's like to perform CPR on someone for 8 minutes, your own husband who's literally dying on you. And she had to see me in that state going through various things. And 8 minutes, I imagine, is a long, long time. And finally the firefighter came and Josh, who I'm friends with now, and they had the little paddles and they finally shocked me back and I came back to life through God's will and all those things. And I mean, there's about, there's numbers vary. There's about a 6% chance of survival, a 1% chance with no brain damage. And really my wife doing CPR on me so quick and for the full 8 minutes, I think is what saved my brain capacity. I literally have, I got a couple tattoos, but I literally have 6 on my arm for 6%. It just reminds me how blessed I am and lucky I am to be here. And a long story short, you guys, it's been a crazy year, but I hope you understand what kind of opportunity you have in front of you. And my real message for people is this community. I knew how incredible people that are attracted to this company are. I knew that before my heart attack, I really did. But I never understood for us in a crazy, crazy way. And, you know, I bled blue before and just the company and everyone, the support. I hope this back to this respect thing again. I hope you respect and appreciate the opportunity in front of you. I hope you understand the community. And like I said, lean into this. If you feel like you're sort of lean into this business, lean into your people. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing when you find your community. And I feel like this attracts a certain type of person. And the other thing too, guys, you know, after what happened to us, we've had a pretty remarkable year from a business sense. And I hope you also understand that you can do really hard things. You're equipped to do hard things. You're built that way. So never doubt yourself about what you're capable of doing, because I know if my wife can do what she did for that long, you're not supposed to be able to give CPR for that long, by the way. It's really hard to do. But when you consider the consequences, I feel like sometimes entrepreneurs and stuff, they put those consequences on themselves in their own business. And I'm not trying to equate the two, but you can do really hard things in this business. And I hope you appreciate the community you belong to. And I'm so thankful for you, Sandy, and for everyone at Beachbody, what you did for our family and the prayers and everything. I made it through this without crying. I don't know how, but I did. So thank you.
You had a really great quote, a Robin Williams quote that kind of puts an exclamation mark on it. Did you want to share that? You want me to share it?
You can still one on my arm.
Oh, that's not the Robin Williams quote. That's the Shawshank Redemption. But you know what? Share that because I'm sure people have been wondering what's on your arm.
Oh, on my arm. Yeah, it's a Shawshank quote. It's some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright. I love the movie and it means a lot to me. So what's the Robin Williams one? I'm like, which one is that?
Oh, you know what? You had it, but you didn't follow your script at all. So I really love you for that because you spoke from the heart. But it was, you'll have bad times, but it will always wake you up to the good stuff that you weren't paying attention to.
Oh, I know, it's a beautiful one. It's true.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What an incredible year. That whole week in October last year, the network was at a standstill. I mean, daily prayers, hugs, and it just shows that Team Beachbody is a human entity. It is a collective. We are there to support. We are there to watch you live and succeed. And like I told you, life looks good on you, Jamie.
Thank you. It's got a different meaning, and I really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Really, really good job. And we are done with the show. Let me give you guys, I started this call about what is possible. So if you didn't hear the beginning, go back, listen to the beginning, but it is about what's possible. With belief and action, all things are possible. I'm going to just put that here with belief and action, all things are possible, because I want to make sure that you realize this call is about highlighting what is possible. It does not mean for you to go abandon everything that you've been doing that's been working for you. Keep doing it. Keep working at it. It will pay off. It can pay off if you believe and you understand what's possible. So thanks, everybody. Have a great, great week. I'll see you here next week. Bye-bye.